financial problems, elder law, tax problems, business matters, divorce, personal injury, bankruptcy, your life, your reality. Life is complicated. There is the law and there is reality. Welcome to Law and Reality, sponsored by Thav Gross. Now here's your host, Ken Gross.
Welcome to this segment of Law and Reality. Pat Simasko, good to have you back.
Thanks for having me.
Jeffrey Kirshner.
Hi, I love being here.
And Brian Small, cohort in crime.
Yep, cohort in something. Yep.
Today's topic, 6 months wastes $50,000. That's the topic. We're going to walk through the show to explain what that means. Let me start it out with this background. We've reached that great point where it's summertime. Baseball, July 4th coming, fire up the barbecue for dinner, camping, all the good things that we kind of live for as Michiganders after going through winter and sometimes a tough spring, sometimes not so good. This year was pretty easy. There's a tendency that when the issue comes up of addressing my financial issues or my business problems or the things that I've got in front of me, when summer comes, there's a tendency to say, you know, I'll just put that on the back burner and cool it for a bit. When fall comes, I'll get serious again about life and take care of my problems. That's the backdrop to the title, 6 Months Wastes $50,000. Now, when we talk about debt elimination and dealing with finances, we have a framework. The goal is always this. Brian, what's the goal? Preserve future income.
I'm glad you asked me if you're going to answer the question. Preserve your future income for you and your family so you have something in the bank to retire with. And go off of that with your 3-point plan, which includes own your home free and clear, have money in the bank, and have no debt.
Okay. I just want you to know,
plan.
when I started giving you the preserve future income, we call that a prompter.
A prompter?
Yes, I was
prompter?
just in case I was just being helpful.
You're
just
now
in
prompted.
Case. Because, you know, it's in the morning and, you know, you probably had a nice night out last night, so you never know. But you were right on point. The whole thing, when we talk about debt elimination, is the focus on preserving future income is a long-term look, and we come up with a methodology. How are we going to shed the debt in the manner that's the fastest and at the least possible cost? So it's in this framework that here's my issue. Why is it a mistake waiting 6 months before taking action, and how much does it cost? Now let me.
Well, you already told us it costs $50,000. You're going to have to
But
explain
how do we
you
get
get
to
there.
50? Okay, here's Bill. Good point. He's 50 years old. He wants to wait. He wants to enjoy summer. He says, "I'll see you in the fall, Brian." Remember that? I'll see you in September or whatever. Wasn't there a song there?
Oh, those
Actually,
started
actually, I was
70s,
just
Ken,
thinking about,
but-
you know, those mysteries that used to
When
be.
I see you.
I was just thinking about, you know, those mysteries that used to be on TV where they would tell you who done it at the beginning, and then you have to watch and figure out how they did it.
Yes. It's
This
also
is
like
what-
a commercial. Like when you're watching the news now, they throw out at the beginning of the show the critical thing that occurred, and then you don't get it till the 24th minute in the half hour.
Right.
Well, let's not
This is
let's
a
not
teaser.
wait. Let's
We
not,
call those
Yeah, let's
teasers.
not wait the
We only have
entire
30
show.
minutes to do
Yeah.
this.
Bill has $20,000 of credit card debt. He's 50 years old. He's making minimum payments at 2.5% of that $20,000, which is $500 a month. 20,000, 2.5%. So it's costing him $500 a month. Bill says to himself, if I have to wait 6 months, it's going to cost me $3,000. So is that the cost? $3,000 of waiting? Maybe it's not that big of a deal. My answer is no. Remember I would bet all of us heard this from our grandparents or parents at one time. A penny saved is a penny earned.
Thanks, Ben Franklin.
Okay, there you go. As a kid, I never understood that concept. Penny saved, penny earned. And then one day I kind of realized, if you go on the assumption that what you're going to spend over the course of your life is a fixed dollar amount. You're going to basically spend the same amount of money. If your costs going out are always the same, then any extra dollar you get in over and above ground zero is saved and earns money and earns a return. So apply that to Bill. Savings, as a general rule of thumb, invested right, doubles every 7 years. It's kind of an old-fashioned way of looking at how savings are going to grow. So if Bill, in 6 months waiting, cost him $3,000 because he could have gotten rid of the debt sooner, that $3,000 in 7 years is going to be $6,000. In 14 years, that $6,000 is going to be $12,000. 7 more years, in 21, that $12,000 is $24,000. 7 more years, 28 years, that $3,000 has now grown to $48,000. Bill's 50. All we're talking about is preserving future income so that when you get to retirement, you have the cash to live on. That $3,000, holding everything else constant, if he saved it and then he invested it and it accumulated, when he is 78, 50 and 28, is worth $48,000. That's the basis upon when I say waiting that 6 months costs Bill $50,000 in the long haul.
And if you look at it from the debt side, if they decide just to make the minimum payments, that $3,000, if it was debt, how much would that be after 28? It's about $30 million.
Yeah, then it's like off the charts. Because if he ignores his problem, he doesn't even address it in the 6 months. So the bottom line is waiting the 6 months leaves Bill with $48,000 less in the bank when he's 78. That's wasting money, and it's wasting money on a multiple basis. You have to look long term when you think about it.
That's true.
So when we come back from the break, we're going to now look at Bill and say, how do we get rid of the $50,000 of credit card debt? What are the methods that we employ? But the big point is, you can enjoy your summer, but don't waste $50,000 in the meantime. We'll be back after the break.
Is the debt piling up? Struggling to get by?
It's all about preserving future income. Bankruptcy is one option. When it's right, it's the least costly, most effective way to save your home, eliminate a second mortgage, and wipe out credit card debt. But you need to address the problem now.
We help people with bankruptcy. Call the experts.
Worth Ave Gross. Our firm will solve your problem.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP. Carrying too much debt? Resolve your debt. Call Thav Gross.
You don't need to be broke, and you don't need to hit rock bottom. If you have income and you're struggling with debt, dump it. Think about the next 10 or 20 years. If you do what the banks tell you, you'll have nothing to retire with. There is a solution.
Don't waste your future. Call Thav Gross. We're experts at eliminating credit card debt. 888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
A lifetime of hard work. If you don't have the right plan in place, you can lose your home, your savings, and more. And you didn't come this far to lose everything. Samasco Law wants you to know that laws are changing. Today, the average cost of nursing home care is $85,000 a year. With proper planning, we can help protect your life savings and get you the Medicaid nursing home benefits you deserve.
How much can you afford to lose? Call Samasco Law today.
If you're retired and in a financial crisis, there is a way out.
It pains me when I see a retired couple exhaust their savings by paying credit card bills and for a home hopelessly underwater.
Thav Gross specializes in helping retired people in financial crisis.
You just can't keep paying until you're broke. You need to address the problem now.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
Worth Ave Gross. Our firm will solve your problem.
You can't work. You have to deal with pain and stress. Worse yet, our system for applying for disability benefits seeks to deny you the benefits you're entitled. Jeff Kirschner is an expert in obtaining disability and workers' compensation benefits for his clients. You need to call Jeff before you apply or after you're denied to get the benefits you deserve. 888-235-HELP. 888-235-HELP.
Okay, so Bill realizes I don't want to blow the $50,000. He's now in the office and he wants to know from us, how do I get rid of my $50,000? The things that we talk about, Brian, you tell me if I'm right, is how do we get rid of debt? We use Chapter 7, we use Chapter 13, or we use debt resolution.
Apparently, you've already
Contingency
answered those.
4 is we win the lottery, but that's not.
Or,
That's
I
not
thought
part
Bill
of the
has
show.
$20,000 worth of credit card debt.
That debt grows
So fast.
so fast
Then now
that
it's
it'll blow
50?
your mind. Yeah, let's have Bill. You got a good point. He had, in fact, $20,000 worth of credit card debt translated into $50,000 in 28 years.
Of
50
lost opportunity to save money.
Right. The 50,000 would be 2.5 times greater, so then he would have that would be 150,000 or 125,000. But let's use 50,000 for Bill.
That's
going
fine,
forward.
but the point is no matter how much money you are paying in your minimum monthly payments on your debt, if you had the opportunity to put that money into the bank and save it, utilizing the theory that money doubles every 7 years, instead of paying it to Visa, MasterCard, or American Express, where when you're paying the minimum monthly payment, let's just use an example of one yesterday I saw. The client was paying $100 a month minimum monthly payment, and $28 a month was interest, because it's 28% interest, right? So never actually paying it down, coupled with the fact that they were right at the edge of their spending limit. So effectively, they're like playing the credit card shuffle game, where I can put $100 on this card and $58 on that card and $260 on this card, and they're never getting ahead. It turns out
They're never getting ahead on the credit card.
they're never getting
Yeah.
ahead,
Yeah,
period.
No, and the danger
Their
though
credit
is
card debt. They can
going
never get rid of the debt.
So they have to, this is the exact same scenario as Bill, $50,000 with the credit card debt, which is a crazy number if you think about it, and then you realize that a whole ton of people are walking around between $30,000 and $50,000 with the credit card debt and think it's normal.
But there's no buffer if there's an emergency. You're paying the minimum just because you're trying to get by every month, avoid the credit card companies.
Right.
But
Now
all of a sudden,
imagine if there was no credit card debt and you're paying Bill's $500 or whatever he's paying a month, and you could put that money in the bank as a cash buffer to deal with the emergency.
And that money's going to double every 7 years because you're going to earn interest on it.
Is there a minimum
Unless you
that
have absent an emergency.
Is there a minimum that people should look at? How much debt do I have to have before I start calling you guys up and say, hey, do I need help?
It's not like you think about those commercials. If you have more than $5,000 of credit card debt. Have you ever noticed in those commercials, depending on how the economy is, they change the number from $5,000 and $10,000?
Oh, do they?
You know what, the
there really
answer-
is not a number. What would you say?
I was going to say, there's no number, because whatever amount of debt you have, if it's a burden, it's a problem.
It's a ratio to
And-
your income.
and so-
And if you're
Your
paying
expense.
29% interest, it's a
Right.
burden.
Right.
So the issue is for if you have a smaller amount of credit card debt, there may be a more straightforward, simpler methodology through budget management to get yourself out of debt. If, as the dollars increase, we may look at debt resolution, and as the dollars increase beyond that, we may look at bankruptcy, or a combination of the different factors.
Which is one of the things I want to get to and do today, is I want to look at 7, 13, and I want to go through different scenarios for Bill. But, one of the things that got me on this topic is I saw a friend of mine the other day, and he said to me, I've been watching your show, I enjoy your show, and I get the message. He says, the message is pretty simple. Get the house paid for, have some cash in the bank in retirement, don't pay interest on credit cards. I said, you got it. And then he looked at me and said, it sure sounds easy, but it isn't that easy.
No, it's very hard in reality.
And I said to him, believe me, I understand that. But the other thing is, and Brian will attest to it, it's not as difficult as you think. Once you're in that trap that you're paying every month, you can't get out of the trap unless you do something dramatic from the standpoint of debt elimination. The idea of just giving the credit cards a little bit more than the minimum payment
And
never works,
do it.
because you then use all of your available cash, and then when you have to buy something,
credit card.
you charge it. So Brian, 7, 13, and debt resolution. Let me give you the first scenario, and then analyze it. Bill's making $85,000 a year. He's single. He has a house payment and other expenses. His monthly disposable income after his expenses is around $1,000 a month. He has $1,000 left at the end of the month, but he still has all this credit card debt. What's his solution?
Debt resolution is the clear solution for Bill in this situation. Now,
is that because he doesn't qualify for Chapter 7 bankruptcy?
He doesn't qualify for a Chapter 7. He makes too much money. He fails what's called the means test, and effectively, he's not eligible for Chapter 7, which leaves him with two opportunities. Chapter 13 bankruptcy, which is structured reorganization, repay back what you can afford. Bill would be in a 60-month Chapter 13. Well, Bill can afford $1,000 over 60 months, $60,000, which is more than his debt. So he would repay that debt in full in a Chapter 13. There's no reason to repay a debt in full in a Chapter 13 if there's another solution. And in this case,
we want the cheapest solution and the fastest.
We want the least costly, most effective solution.
Well,
that's right.
Doesn't Chapter 13 just take that debt and just allows you to spread it over time?
It does.
But doesn't
Well,
alleviate some of that burden.
It can
the
reduce.
reduction depends on how much income you have.
So in this case, Bill's opportunity to do debt resolution at a 40% settlement rate or so is going to have him out of debt in less than 2 years, and it's going to cost him, let's just say, $22,000 instead of
strokes. $22,500 over 2 years costs him $940 a month, and then he's debt free.
Yeah, so that's
Otherwise,
the best solution.
he keeps using the credit cards, charges, and then in 2 years he still owes $50,000 of debt. Let's take a break. When we come back, we'll look at a couple more scenarios for Bill.
Tax problems are major problems. Don't let the IRS levy your wages and seize your assets. There is a solution.
Worth Ave Gross. Our firm will solve your problem.
If you're behind on your taxes and owe money to the IRS, call Thav Gross.
We've been solving tax problems for 32 years. We stop wage levies, resolve unfiled returns, and obtain the best possible settlements.
Call Thav Gross today, 888-235-HELP.
A lifetime of hard work. If you're approaching retirement and don't have the right plan in place, you can lose your home, your investments, and your savings. And you didn't come this far to lose everything. Putting a solid strategy in place with Samasco Law legally protects your assets as well as your wishes. Since a will doesn't cover you medically or financially, Samasco Law goes beyond ordinary asset management protection to safeguard everything you have.
How much can you afford to lose? Call Samasco Law today.
If you're retired and in a financial crisis, there is a way out.
It pains me when I see a retired couple exhaust their savings by paying credit card bills and for a home hopelessly underwater.
Thav Gross specializes in helping retired people in financial crisis.
You just can't keep paying until you're broke. You need to address the problem now.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
Worth Ave Gross. Our firm will solve your problem.
Carrying too much debt? Resolve your debt. Call Thav Gross.
You don't need to be broke, and you don't need to hit rock bottom. If you have income and you're struggling with debt, dump it. Think about the next 10 or 20 years. If you do what the banks tell you, you'll have nothing to retire with. There is a solution.
Don't waste your future. Call Thav Gross. We're experts at eliminating credit card debt. 888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
Time for announcements. Want to remind our viewers to listen to us Thursdays 3 to 4 p.m. for Law and Reality Now on 9:10 a.m. with Cliff Russell. We have a seminar coming up Wednesday, June 28th, 2017, 6:30 to 8 o'clock p.m., solving debt issues caused by disability or life's difficult road. Jeff Kirshner, our disability expert, is going to join us. We're going to talk about solving debt issues as well as disability issues. Both issues interlap. If you suffer a disability, you're going to sustain a horrific loss of income, and that puts you in a debt situation. And then similarly, even if you don't have a disability, if life's road has caused problems and you've got financial issues, we're going to address all those solutions. How to get out of debt using bankruptcy, how to get out of debt outside of bankruptcy. The seminar is free. Attendees get a free copy of my book, Dump Your Debt. Sign up at lawandreality.com or thavgross.com or call 888-235-HELP. Want to remind our viewers, you're always entitled to come in for a free consultation at Thav Gross. You can go to either website, Thav Gross or lawandreality.com, request a consult by checking the box in the area of your choice, or you can always call 888-235-HELP. Debt issues, tax issues, estate planning issues, elder law issues with Pat Simasko, disability issues or workers' comp issues with Jeffrey Kirshner, business issues with myself, all of that is always available. Also, check out the websites. There's 3 free reports: Business Formations, Loans and Grants for Small Businesses in Detroit and Michigan, Retiree's Guide to Social Security from Pat Simasko, and How to Avoid Foreclosure, The Hidden Secrets by yours truly. I want to thank our sponsors, Thav Gross, Simasko Law, and Kirshner Law Office.
Is the debt piling up? Struggling to get by?
It's all about preserving future income. Bankruptcy is one option. When it's right, it's the least costly, most effective way to save your home, eliminate a second mortgage, and wipe out credit card debt. But you need to address the problem now.
We help people with bankruptcy. Call the experts.
We're Thav Gross. Our firm will solve your problem.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP. You can't work. You have to deal with pain and stress. Worse yet, our system for applying for disability benefits seeks to deny you the benefits you're entitled. Jeff Kirshner is an expert in obtaining disability and workers' compensation benefits for his clients. You need to call Jeff before you apply or after you're denied to get the benefits you deserve. 888-235-HELP. 888-235-HELP. Tax problems are major problems. Don't let the IRS levy your wages and seize your assets. There is a solution.
We're Thav Gross. Our firm will solve your problem.
If you're behind on your taxes and owe money to the IRS, call Thav Gross.
We've been solving tax problems for 32 years. We stop wage levies, resolve unfiled returns, and obtain the best possible settlements.
Call Thav Gross today, 888-235-HELP. Carrying too much debt? Resolve your debt. Call Thav Gross.
You don't need to be broke, and you don't need to hit rock bottom. If you have income and you're struggling with debt, dump it. Think about the next 10 or 20 years. If you do what the banks tell you, you'll have nothing to retire with. There is a solution.
Don't waste your future. Call Thav Gross. We're experts at eliminating credit card debt. 888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
All right, we're back. All right, so I want to do another scenario on Bill.
Well, just so that everybody's clear, this is hard, okay? It's hard for the average person sitting at home who's looking at their bills to say, what am I going to do? And you have to recognize you have to do something dramatic to get yourself out of debt. You have to take a different angle, come at it a different way. Because if you keep doing the same thing, you'll be in the same place next week and next year and the following year.
And you have to have that follow-up plan, like gastric bypass surgery. You can lose all the weight, but if you go back to eating the same way, you're going to do it all over again. So it's that lifelong plan of making sure you keep out of the debt.
You got to learn to live within your means.
Yeah,
or
below
as Brian
your means.
says, below your means.
Below your means, and cash is king.
You know, the other one, all right, I want to go through 2 more scenarios, but just to emphasize that same point, if Bill goes to his brother-in-law and borrows $50,000 to pay off the credit card debt to avoid the 29% interest, but he has to
lost
pay
his friend. He lost his brother-in-law, I'll tell you
but
that.
if he has to pay, let's say his brother-in-law is willing to do that, but he has to pay his brother-in-law 8% interest. He's still paying back $50,000 at 8% interest. He's better off paying $22,500 no interest, getting a $22,500 discount, and being out of debt in 2 years.
People have to understand that no matter what, your credit score will heal. It will come back.
Oh
It
yeah,
is
that's always the
not
case. What about my credit score?
It is not on a short-term basis. It's not important. Long-term, it will fix itself.
And there's always
we got 2 more scenarios to get through.
But
and
there's
we
always
got
a
3
pride
minutes.
factor that people have to get through.
Yeah,
It's a pride factor
absolutely.
that people have to get over.
Okay, Bill's making $45,000 a year instead of $85,000. He's single. He has house payment and other expenses.
In this case, Bill is going to be below the median income for a household his size, and his income doesn't afford him anything extra left over. So Bill's most likely recommendation would be a Chapter 7 bankruptcy. Pay a one-time fee, and you're done.
$1,500 plus cost or so, and he's out of it.
And the debt's gone. And Bill can move on and get a fresh start.
Doesn't have to pay the $940 a month over 2 years for debt resolution. Better outcome because he meets the requirements for Chapter 7, right? Chapter
Correct.
7, what do you and I always say?
Least costly, most effective method to get out of debt. Period.
You can't beat it. It's a gift from God, if you get right down to it, in terms of the opportunity that it gets you. But not everybody qualifies. All right, scenario 3. Bill's making $70,000 a year. He's married with kids. His disposable income after paying his regular expenses, not his credit cards, is $300 a month. He has a second mortgage at $25,000. The value of his home is worth less than the first mortgage. What are we going to do for Bill, Brian?
Well, we're going to put Bill into a Chapter 13 bankruptcy for numerous reasons. One, it's more beneficial than debt resolution because it costs him less. Two, he's below the median income, so I can put him into a 36-month program instead of a 60-month program.
So he's not even in it for 3 years. He's out.
3-year program. And on top of that, I can get rid of his second mortgage through lien stripping, which the second mortgage, most people, it's going to take them another 25 years to pay it off. Imagine if it's gone in 3.
So in 3 years, he gets rid of $75,000 of debt, the lien on his house, and it costs him basically $300 a month.
Give or take,
$3,600
yeah.
a month times 3 is what? $10,800.
Yep.
It is a beautiful thing. So here's what's interesting. Same guy, Bill. What did we vary? We varied his income from $45,000 to $70,000 to $85,000. One scenario he's married, the next scenario he's not. One scenario he's got a second mortgage on his home, the other one he doesn't. The outcome of what his solution is depends on the facts. This is the difference, though. If you go to a guy who does debt settlement, he's going to put you in the debt settlement, and if it costs you $30,000, that's the only thing he knows how to do. He's not going to say, file the Chapter 7 and it'll only cost you $1,500 and you're done in 3 months. You need to make sure you go to somebody that analyzes your situation with the goal of finding the best solution for you. Our approach is specifically designed to make sure that we cover all the options and all the avenues of getting rid of debt so that we fit the person into the one that's the smartest. And what's the smartest? Every single time. You want to shed the debt the fastest way at the least possible cost. Why? So you preserve future income for yourself and your family and ahead and the years to come, and you have something to retire with. Have a great week. We'll be back next week with Law and Reality.